What up, my Nazis? We're back again. Remember to like, subscribe, hit the notifications, turn on the little bell. I don't know, drag your balls on the carpet. I don't give a shit. Anyway, guys, we're all back today. Well, it's a much smaller staff today, our crew, but we are fully diversity represented tonight. So that's awesome. So pretty good there. I think we ought to start bringing on a retard, so maybe we can start getting Jack Frost back on or something. But we need to have at least one retard in the group too. Now that we can say that word, now again, I'm pretty stoked about that. Anyhow, and gay, I think we can say that too. I love gay people, but I think things are gay sometimes, and I want to be able to say it. Anyway, how's everybody doing? What are y'all drinking?
Still not gay, but I can swim as a black person.
And yeah, well, there's no proof of that.
There is, and despite me being concussed and on medication, I am drinking a little bit of Johnny Walker tonight. Just keeping it simple and light. Blue Label.
Blue Label. So that's, I don't know much about it. I think it starts with a green, then has a black and a silver, maybe.
There's a black, double black, a red, a green, and a blue.
Oh, okay. And the blue is the top of the line.
Yeah.
There's not a silver, like a platinum?
There's a platinum, but it's not a... It's right kind of right there next to the red, if you will. And the red is for somebody who just wants to get toasted, really. It's not... I wouldn't spend money on it.
I wouldn't spend money on any of it, but I was just curious because I know when I was overseas, definitely in places like... I mean, it's been well over statute of limitations, but places like Thailand, for example, or Malaysia. And by the way, if I sound a little crazy tonight, it might be because I took a gummy right before the show, and it's going to kick in here in a little bit. So it's all going to be good. I'll be able to play retard all by myself. Anyway, Jesus won't be making an appearance today. Anyhow,
I hope not.
Anyway, shit, where was I in that story?
We were going to Malaysia and Thailand.
Yeah. So like what I remember is we would go and get stuff from the PX and stuff, from the I forgot what we call package store, and we would take it on our flights and stuff with us if we were going to those countries. Dude, they would pay astronomical prices for them. You want to talk about a secondary there? Holy hell. I mean, it was just straight up nonsense. You can take a bottle of red. That's the reason why I brought that up. They, for whatever reason, they really were into the, like the Johnny Walkers. I guess you can call that a Scotch. I presume I don't drink it, right? But they would pay, for the red, they'd pay $500-600 for.
Oh wow!
And you're describing it as somebody wants to get drunk. So I mean, I understand.
I mean, and I think the average bottle of the red, I think it goes for like $30, and that might even be asking a lot. The green and the blues are usually between 100 and 200,
right?
Depending on where you're getting it from. It was a bottle that was gifted to me by a customer, so I decided, why not? Somebody's got to drink this shit, so I just popped it open.
Yeah. And then I didn't mean to perseverate on it. It's just I was thinking about it, and I was like, and that was 1995-ish number. No, it'd been 1996. 1996 number. So we're looking at 20 years next year that it's been. That was talking about $400 or $500 or $500-600.
The only other beverage I know that goes for high dollars like that is Coca-Cola in Cuba.
Well, that's because they can't get it.
Yeah, but it's more valuable than alcohol.
Well, also that's also how the Scotch is there for whatever reason. I don't know if it's in Malaysia, that's the world's largest Muslim country, so that's the reason why you don't find it there. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but and they have places what they call like Western zones where you can drink, but it has to be like resort, tied, or if you find a sneak away bar and stuff like that. But it's good times. But they will. I mean, if you walked in the bar with a fresh uncorked bottle of and I don't even know if it's corked, it might be screw on.
No, it's screw on for sure.
but a bottle of Johnny Walker in any place in Malaysia, they're going to do everything they can to make sure you never have to pay for anything If you're into lady boys, they'll hook you up there. If you're into like ladies, they'll hook you up there. If you just maybe if you're just into like dude on dude, they'll probably hook you up there, but you won't pay for any drinks, any food, no nothing. All right. If you walked in there with that. So, I mean, you just pick your poison there. I'm not saying I did that. Obviously not. I'm a good Christian guy and a conservative.
Just don't ask me to testify to it. That's all.
Well, if you're gonna have to axe, I want you just to be there at my execution. Matter of fact, if I were to get executed and I had to get my head cut off, I want it to be a black person. Here's the reason why. It's not for reparations or any type of making justice better or anything like that. Because less than 1% of the people actually owned slaves. So the rest of us were probably bitches as well, beating around and all this nonsense. So don't get me wrong. That's bad. God damn it. I had one of those stopping points again where I forgot what I was talking about.
Getting your head chopped off by black.
Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you. But if you had yourself a brother or sister, because I haven't heard either party be able to say it or either sex be able to say it correctly. I didn't mean to exclude anybody that's trans or anything like that, but whatever. But anyway, my point being is that they're going to say ask. Like if they say, hey, you got any final questions? And I'd say, are you asking me? And what you guys are going to hear is bam. I'm never going to know it's coming. And you're not going to miss. You've been practicing all the time.
I can't believe I'm fucking friends with this guy. Fuck me.
Make sure we're very clear on this, though. I'm not saying slavery was good. That's not what I was saying at all.
No.
Okay, so moving on. So let's talk about Buffalo Trace and the shit that they're dealing with.
Well, so Jordan, my oldest son, called me today, and he was like, we were talking about Nico. I want to say bye-bye to the University of Tennessee. Anyway, we were talking about him, and then he was like, hey, what do you think's going on with Buffalo Trace? What are they going to do up there? And I'm like, what do you mean? And I said, they're in rick houses. Is there probably a large amount of whiskey that's lost? Yes. And I would guarantee there's a lot of freaking merchandise and all that, and maybe even history that's lost. That's probably true, right?
Yeah, I would say more merchandise than whiskey lost.
I would too. And here's the reason why. That's what I was telling him. Rick houses are not all one level. It's not a Rick basement, right? So with Rick James. But anyway, come on, that was funny.
That was good.
Yep.
Piping it up. Anyway, got a little sidetracked in my mind there. I was telling him, I was like, but Rick houses, everything's stacked,
Mm-hmm.
So it depends. If it's 20 foot up, and those Rick houses are 100 and something, probably 100, at least 120 feet, right? So you're only looking at, if it's 30 feet up, whatever's in there.
But,
don't get me wrong, that's a lot.
But here's my thing about that. The Rick houses, that's why I'm saying, and the only thing that probably might be affected was anything that got knocked over. Because the barrels hold liquor. So the water's not getting inside. Because the liquor's not coming out. There's no, you see what I'm saying? It's sealed. That's the stuff that's in the barrel is going to be just flipping fine.
I want to believe you. I want to believe that. But it's wood, and wood is porous. And what my concerns are is,
that will lead us right down the happy trail to Buffalo Trace, the Survivor Series.
Oh my God, we're back to that again. Like I just want to leave now.
No, it's okay. But even the merchandise, if you stop and think about it, go to their warehouses and stuff, everything's not put down on the floor. They're gonna
yeah, totally. Yeah,
it's up on shelves. I mean, granted, they got a problem, and the other thing is they're still closed too, so they're losing all that daily traffic and revenue they generate.
Distribution, distribution for sure. Their stock is taking a hit, I'm sure. Yeah, the one I'll worry about though is Castle and Key.
They got it worse than Buffalo Trace did.
Well, I mean, quite honestly, the road is the floodplain, and they're beneath the road. So if you were to go there, it's like they sit on the river side, and the road's up here, and you go down into it, right? And I was sitting there thinking about it, and I was like, that whole place would be underwater, and they don't have 20,000 rick houses. Like Buffalo Trace, they may have a rick house and Rick basement. Just saying, I don't know.
Well, I think they will probably look at the damage once all the water recedes. Probably pop open some barrels and give it a taste and see how things are. But I happen to actually have two Buffalo Trace barrels that I actually use. And not that they're submerged, but they survive quite well in a wet, cold environment. No, it's not the same as being underwater, but
real quick, we've been fact checked today.
Yes.
My old Chucky.
Dun, dun.
So we've been fact checked. So apparently started back up. Continue. Sorry about that, Aquatic Black.
So I think some of the barrels will still do fairly well. And hopefully they were in the process of doing some kind of damage control where they got some of the barrels up out of the water and they didn't spend a whole lot of time in the water, like completely submerged. So, and if they were smart, somebody probably moved some things around before it got really bad. But we never know. We'll have to wait to see what the outcome is and see if we get a price hike in the inventory of their products and what stuff is few and far in between now. So especially if you're looking at like some of the Eagle Rare 17s, the B-Tag stuff, but we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting couple of months.
That's a great question on the B-Tag stuff because I didn't think about that because I was like, that season's not till later. Well, that distillate would be in the barrel right now.
You bet.
And I was sitting there just going, wow, that would suck because that would be the next years, and who knows how that's going to affect not only allocation, but it's going to up the economies of scale of everything else, right? Mm-hmm. So you're going to see everything else go much higher with a shortened inventory just for people to get into the allocation game.
Yep.
And you look at that, and that's astronomical. I mean, I didn't mean to go off on that. I'll go back to being a little bit tipsy with the gummy. So,
and also I feel like, and I mean, of course, I wouldn't know anything for sure, but between insurance claims and certain things like that, I don't think they're going to have too far much worries as far as financial goals. But I do think on the upside, where they're going to have some items that they're going to put a good marketing campaign on, and you're going to have the taters come out and like Gino said, the Survivor Series or whatever they call it.
Oh yeah.
The flood waters, whatever, So it's something that's going to be interesting to see what's going on.
See, we'd already know all this like in real time if Chuck would be on the show again, but we're still getting it kind of quick time or real time. But anyway, he did say that the BTAC products are stored at a higher in the rick houses. I think that's awesome. That's the reason why you don't have a Rick James basement.
Yeah.
Yep.
So from what I understand, that type of flooding is kind of a, how do they say it, once in a century type of event. So hopefully it'll be a learning experience for them as well to see where they can improve on, storage and, making sure the rig houses are safe. But if you guys get a chance, I don't know how far long ago it was, I posted a link from 60 Minutes in the the Barcast, I don't know what you call it, in the after show. No, not the after show, the VIP chat, that thing. And it was interesting because it was all about the making of barrels and how what goes into them and how they actually make more money when they get the old barrels back and they resell them. And there's a whole another different company. The guy was saying how he has like 10,000 barrels and he turns over his warehouse like every 30 to 45 days. So I was thinking, wow, so a lot of the barrels, end up in Europe. Quite a few of them end up in the islands, actually.
Yeah, for rum and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they were saying there was about 40 barrels that was made from the same wood that was used to rebuild the cathedral. Forgive me, I'm not speaking properly, but that had recently burned down a couple of years back. That same wood, that thing. So Bardstown got their hands on a little supply.
Yes,
of
I
that
have
wood.
had that.
Damn, yeah.
I have actually had that when I was up there in Bardstown. Let me remove this real quick. When I was up there in Bardstown, that's one of the pictures I sent you guys in the VIP chat.
Yep.
And again, if you're not a part of the VIP chat, contact myself, Gino, and we'll get you guys plugged in. But I thought that was a very interesting article when they really spoke about the barrels and the charring. It was very educational if you didn't already know the process of barrel making and how, the white dog basically goes in the barrel and what comes out. And it talked about the angel share. And it was just very, very interesting. And it's not a long watch. I think it's only about 15 minutes. So if you guys care to look that up on 60 Minutes, you'll be definitely impressed by it.
Yeah, the amount of uses they get out of those barrels. You would think because, to make bourbon, it has to be new American oak barrels.
Correct.
Can't reuse them to make bourbon. And so you would think that as an industry, that'd be awfully wasteful. But in reality,
it's not. They actually make a lot of money doing it. Yeah, a whole lot of money.
Yeah.
All kinds of things go into those barrels before they put them out for the public to go ahead. Hey, you want to buy this bourbon barrel? All
right. So, anybody want to explain this to David?
Well, Dave, you're in the VIP chat. You're safe. It's okay.
And
yes,
so
that's where you find it at, Dave.
It's the same. Yes. Dave can put you in the group.
Yeah. Hit Dave. Dave can add you to the VIP. Dave is a member of the VIP.
And there you have it. Hey, anyway. All right. So you guys just seen me unwrapping something that I did put in the VIP chat. So I had the pleasure of going to Greenbrier Distillery, and which is Nelson Brothers, what used to be Bell Mead and stuff of that nature. With great time, loved it, had a lot of fun. Good, very good. First of all, very hip. It looks like a legit big time distillery, and compared to like Buffalo Trace, what I was talking about, or Heaven Hill, or even Bardstown, which is ginormous as well, right? When you look at this place, is nowhere close to that size, but everything, all the amenities and all that was set up exactly like it. So it was my first experience there. Freaking awesome. Anyway, I got to try a bunch of stuff, and of course, you guys already know I already have a bottle of the Nelson Brothers Honey Cask. I've had 2 in the last 2.5 months. So what I would tell you is you have not had this yet, what I'm getting ready to show you. And it is by far, the best. And there's oak and agave. Hey, how you doing? But by far the best, close second, if not equal to the Honey Cask. And as far as I know, you can only get this at the distillery, but it's the Cavados cast. And I'm going to tell you what, fan-freaking-tastic. As for notes, has a sweeter taste. It has that might be the reason why I compare it so closely to the Honey Cask. It has a lot of the sweeter notes, like maybe like I wouldn't really call a spicy cherry, but maybe like a black cherry, with a lot of upfront plum, and then it
Oak and agave.
Yeah, I just said that just then go.
I just seen it.
You'd been on the show, you'd have seen it.
Sorry.
Anyway, but it finishes off with much of the similar that you would always get with Nelson Brothers, which is a lot of oak filled with caramel and warm vanillas, and it's really good. And it comes in at a 53.4, and we will do the same. So, so oak and agave just started following us on in the YouTube world, and so we're gonna do the same too.
Oh yeah,
with him. We're gonna follow him back. So make sure all of you guys do the same thing.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And oak and agave, if you guys have a Instagram, please post it so we can follow along.
Oh hell yeah. And whatever else you're on.
And he said thank you. All right, so or she, I shouldn't make an assumption, or trans. There could be a trans in there too.
So give us some more tasting notes on that bottle, Jody. If you could pair it with anything, any kind of food or anything like that, what would you definitely?
So, so I had some brisket poutine with it, and it paired freaking awesome with that. So I guess where I'm going with that is since it has, I think, Cavados. I'm not 100% sure. You can fact check me on this, but I believe it's wine. Cavados is. And so I think it's some type of something like that. So it pairs really well with heavier. It's apples and pears is what that is. But anyway, it pairs really well in my opinion, which would make sense if it's apples and pears with any type of heavy meat, like whether it's steak, porterhouse, obviously, or pork chops or something heavy though. And so brisket worked too. So. Yes, that's what it exactly. It's apple brandy, and I remember that now. I remember that, and you have to remember I did have myself a gummy, and prior to, so had a rough day.
So with that particular expression, is it limited? Is it something that they're gonna have around, but you can only get it at the distillery? Right
now, I think you can only get it at Distillery. I have never seen this out in the wild. And as soon as I seen it, I was kind of turned off by the bottle. I'll be honest with you. It has the Cavados is a very fluorescent green like image, and I was like, why would you put that on a bourbon? It just seems. I know that that's materialistic and slightly vain, but you guys have been around for long enough. You know that I'm a little bit materialistic and vain. So
no,
I know, but what I would say about it is that. You kind of embrace it, and it might be because, to be perfectly honest with you, it may have something to do with the how the apple brandy, if that may be their colors, and that might be the reason why they've done that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the 750 milliliter.
What's that?
That bottle is the 750.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, 750.
Nice. Have you had any of the other stuff that you found particularly nice?
Well, you already know this. I love their big fan of their honey cast. I do like any of the cast ones that they have pretty much. I'm not into a lot of the Chardonnays, I think it might be, or Cabernets. That's what I was trying to say. I was trying to say both of them together. I'm not into those, but I do love their sherry cast they have as well. Mm-hmm. Now, sherry cast not for everybody. To me, it is much sweeter, and I don't know why that is, because I drink bourbon because I don't like it sweet, but for some reason, it hits right on the perfect notes for what I want in sweetness.
Yep.
Nice. Good.
So anyway, I recommend it if you can get out there to it. Wonderful time, wonderful bar, great atmosphere. We had a great time. So I would say if you can get out there to do it, it is a wonderful experience. It's right downtown Nashville. It's in part of the historical area, close to in between Rosa Parks and Charlotte. So it's a great place, great location, very beautiful facilities, right across the street from the park too. So it's awesome. If you get a chance, go to it.
Nice.
Okay.
All right, so we can talk about something else now. We've got.
Did we talk about what Gino's drinking?
Oh, Gino is having some Michter's rye. Just,
nice.
Just a straight up rye.
Okay.
Oh, real quick, Michelle wanted me to remind everybody that if you park in their parking lot, you don't have to pay to park.
Okay, that makes sense.
Cool.
Well, they're right beside each other. It's important. One of them has these giant things that say "Pay here to park," and everybody does that. And then if you just go past the large blinking signs and all this stuff and go up literally 10 feet
and park for free,
you can park for free. It literally is that close.
You gotta love it. And I guarantee you that paid lot's probably full all day long.
What's that?
I said the paid lot's probably full all day long.
Oh, it was totally full when I was there.
Jeez.
All right,
Gino, you come across anything interesting?
Real quick, so
no, I did find that one that those Maryland selects of the Four Roses. I did manage to pick up one of those that Chuck posted in the VIP. There on Friday. I got the charred brulee. I haven't pulled the cork on that yet. I'm waiting for them to finish building my deck and my porch roofs, because that's going to get sampled out there when I bust open a cigar and am able to smoke and enjoy my new deck.
Nice. Very nice. Okanagave has a comment there, Jody.
Oh yeah, he was just saying that he's drinking the OFSBBP Rye 131. Why it's so hard for me to say all that stuff together? So,
because you dropped a gummy right before we started the show.
Even if I wasn't, it would still be that way. It's too much nonsense.
13th Colony, that's some good stuff. Yeah, the 15th anniversary, I have not had that, but I do enjoy 13th Colony.
Okay.
I have not had 13th Colony, but I did have the special edition that they came out with. I don't think that's what it was called, but it was a Rick House special edition, and it was fantastic.
Yes. I knew what the nomenclature was, but it's all good. And that's a good pour.
Well, it looks like Okanagave, obviously either more likely a dude at this point. So since we don't know, and
yeah, I'm watching one of the videos off to the side here.
Okay, yes. So good. There, it's a dude, so that's cool. Yeah. But anyway, I was just basing on the drink, but oh yeah. So obviously, what I was going to say is much more of a rye person, Yeah, he goes. Yeah, he just wants to clarify he is a dude. So we still only have one trans athlete on our team, and that is David Papiden.
Oh boy.
He went from he had a rough surgery. He went from female to male. He doesn't like to talk about it much. Anyhow, teach him to take the night off.
Hey.
So Jody, you've been a numbers guy. With everything,
maybe not right now.
Not right now, but this might be still in your wheelhouse. Where do you see things going with the potential of politics and tariffs and weather? Do you see a big shakeup in the market anytime soon, or you think it's gonna kind of stay right where it's at and keep cruising?
All right. So if I'm giving you my honest opinion from clean up real quick from a graduate professor stance, as someone who teaches this and things of that nature, a lot of this is, Trump has history on his side. Every time all of us came out against him with whatever type of economic policy he came up with, we all said the numbers don't make sense and it's not going to work. So that's one. So I give him a little latitude or to go along with that because of that. So me as a person of tariffs, I'm not a big fan of tariffs. However, you can make the argument on the other side. Why did other countries have tariffs against us? Well, there is some rationale to that. After 1945, a lot of it was due to the reconstruction of the European continent, right? So that's his argument with the tariffs aspect. But there are other places like Madagascar have 93% tariff on us. They should. Their average yearly income is less than $950 a year. You know, so some places I just don't get. However, I can kind of get it because he's right. Like, for example, one of the things he brought up was, you know, last time I put tariffs on China, what they do, they just move production to a different country, and that was Vietnam, and that was Laos, and it was parts of the Philippines and stuff of that nature. Then and then there's even was relationships with both Canada and also Mexico, hence the tariffs against them. All Trump's trying to do is trying to level the playing field against one singular economy, and that is China. So it's a long about way to answer what do I think is going to happen. I told my class for the last week and a half, all of them, if you can buy everything you can and still be able to pay your bills. This is the one time you need to buy as much as humanly possible. Here's the reason why. If the market's always a roller coaster. Under Trump's first term, it grew by 19.6%, and under Biden, it grew by 11.3%. We watched the second largest market display. Now, I don't care much for the markets aspect. We watched the second largest, or somewhere around there, largest jump in revenue in one day. And since after 9/11, since after, what was the other one? I guess the other one would have been somewhere in 89, maybe. I don't know. But we hadn't seen it in a long time, right? So I sit here and I look at this and I go, what do I think is going to happen? I think you're going to see a roll. Like, this is the part, instead of being that big hill that climbs and then falls down, I think it's on that little part where it's like where it just bounces, 09 might be right. But anyhow, when I look at it in the perspective of what I think it's going to do, I think we're on the bunny slopes right now. It's going to be a couple of days that are going to be bad, and maybe a few days where it's real bad. Then watch what it does the next day. And the other thing is whether I'm a conservative or not, Trump is for sure textbook a narcissist. All right. Mm-hmm. And you think he's going to let some bad publicity ruin his presidency? He's going to turn around and whatever he did, he's going to reverse that shit right away. And we've all seen that in real time. But I will tell you why he put the tariffs on and then took them off, and then I'll be done with it. I think the market's going to be good, by the way. And I think XRP is definitely where you want to put some of your crypto, because even the Vatican is using it as their form of cryptocurrency transactions and stuff of that nature. But the reason why he put the tariffs on everybody initially, and all these places to include even inhabited places, is what I told you earlier. All you have to do is set up a port someplace and just go through it, and then it comes to a different place. But the other aspect is, when you look at what do I think or not why, but the reason why we're doing that is you're always looking to create not the deficit so much. You're always going to have deficits. If you go to your Kroger and buy groceries, you're going to, you know what? I don't want me to teach a whole class. I'm just going to end it with that and say, hey, I think the market's going to be great. I really do.
Okay, that's all we needed. I appreciate it.
I'll have my class tune into that on Wednesday.
That'll be educational. But in my opinion, the markets are cyclical.
Of course.
They go through this. They're cyclical. And right now, we're in a little bit of a reset. It's going to take off again soon.
So back to
I agree.
That's what we need. Okay.
But anyway, and thank you for all the kind words and stuff. I do apologize. I didn't mean to do that, but then I get on it and I'm just like, where's my pipe at? I just want to sit here and tell you about it.
Dude, it's your jam. We know that.
So since we're getting ready to pony up to summer anytime pretty soon, are you guys looking forward to breaking out any bottles for the summer? Any particular events that you want to get into? Hopefully some nice warm weather. What will you guys be drinking?
Yes.
Joey, let's start with you.
Yes. I mean,
Okay.
But here, my point being is that the quick answer is yes.
Yes.
But if you're asking me specifically what I'm going to drink in the summertime, dude, I am totally down with still having bourbon. And you know this, you've been here during that time.
Absolutely.
And I just want to have bourbon, and that's it. So can I sometimes like a strawberry smash or something like that? Yeah, that'd be pretty cool with that little bit of soda water in it and stuff. So yeah, I could do that, and that would be
the old fashioned.
No, I agree with
a little
you.
old fashions on here.
I enjoy bourbon all year round, and fortunate here for us in Miami, we don't have too much of a cold winter snap, if you will. We have a couple of days maybe where, by our definition and our standards, what we consider cold. But no, for the summer, and I'm not into fruity drinks or very sugary drinks. So really here for the summertime, definitely bourbon is going to be a all around thing. Um, and for those who don't know, the mojito is the official drink of Miami.
Cool.
So,
what's her name again and how you spell it? Talk slowly.
Mojito. So
don't say it. Don't say it like Ricky Martin. I'm not in that kind of mojito.
No. I'm not into that either. But and the one thing that I think we do have that I'm a little bit surprised by, I should say, is we have a healthy selection of beer here in South Florida, especially Miami.
Yeah, I can't do beer when it's
even we have some really like one-off products, which is really nice stuff that you can only get here in Miami. So it's really nice. We have a lot of microbreweries here. We literally have like a whole part of town where there's probably 200 of them within like, I don't know, maybe a 5-mile radius. They're just ass and nuts button up to each other. So it's interesting.
Cool.
So, and again, more than anything, drink responsibly.
And yeah, but that's one thing I really find.
So is there an R in it when you say mojito?
No.
I'm being facetious.
I know. But
that one I didn't walk into.
When it gets warmer in the summer times, that's one of the things that I tend to drift further and further away from is beer. It's just a light beer maybe, but it's just not satisfying, and it just makes me feel bloated. What I will do, the hotter it gets, I might.
This is funny, real quick. So oak and agave spelled it for me. I was like, I was playing. I was.
Oh Lord!
It goes back to the joke, So it's all good. If I had to explain, it was a bad joke.
Yeah, there you go.
But no, it's like I might move down in proof or something like that when it's really hot. But there's nothing better, when the heat is on, sitting out on the deck.
When the heat is on.
Sitting out on the deck, beverage in hand, a cigar, something in the smoker smoking. It's all good.
Yeah. And the oak and agave, I'm watching the video here. Bourbon versus tequila.
It's not even close.
So it's a
good tequila.
Interesting video. I like it. It's interesting comments. So yeah, I mean, only because, so as you guys all know, we do barbecue. Things are starting to pick up because barbecue season is right around the corner. Won't be doing any hard stuff, but we're gonna find some middle of the road beer that we're gonna probably, toss in the cooler, sit it out front there, and let people kind of have at it. So there's a thing that what people would consider to be barbecue beer. So you have like Coors Banquet, you have PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and Miller High Light.
Go with Miller Lite.
Yeah, I like Miller Lite and I like PBR. I'm not a fan of the Coors Banquet. It's a little spicy and I don't know why.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I've had it in the can and the bottle.
It's yeah.
So yeah, but PBR goes down nice. Milwaukee, I like. Miller Lite I actually can enjoy. Nice way to cool down if you're sitting in the pool. No, we will not be doing Bud Light.
No.
David may though.
Dave may get into some Bud Light, but yeah, no.
You get into it. That ought to be their new slogan.
Bud Light, get into it.
You get into it.
And we're gonna actually run this thing on every Sunday. It's gonna be called Beer and Brisket, so that should be a nice event. So,
anyhow, I don't guess I have to like put all of these up here, but it's just fun.
Okay. Oaken agaves, man, going to town here in the chat.
Yeah, they're enjoying themselves. I like it.
I'm enjoying it. Little Old Fashioned keeps chiming in too.
Yeah,
I like a lot of his videos. I've subscribed to both of you guys here to see. Well, I was already a little bit Old Fashioned, but Oaken, yeah, subscribe.
Oaken agave.
Yeah.
Nice. And while they're still online, Oaken Agave, how'd you guys find out about us? How'd you end up on the show tonight? Let us know.
They probably searched up.
I'm not chiming in. Hey Jen, thanks for not being here.
Well, I didn't get a chance to Oh, dadgummit. I can't keep up.
Duchess of what the?
Hold on a second. Here we go.
Okay. Sour, fruity flavor. Ooh, lambics. I don't like lambic beer.
Somebody's going to be recommended live.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
This might really do appreciate it. Okay.
Whoever did, man, they got to change.
Oh, they recommended it. Got it.
They're going to have to change out their AI because it fucked up, man, if it directed you here.
Yeah.
But anyway. So all those silly ass hashtags I use in this. But anyway.
Oh, Little Old Fashioned, we appreciate you.
Well,
nice. Very nice.
But he I think, if I remember correctly, it's the one who, I think he's the one that Michelle recommended to me. And then
I don't remember, but I think it might have been something of that nature.
Yeah, sounds right. She's watching, so she'll tell me if I'm right or wrong here in a minute, I'm sure.
Well, you're probably wrong, but it's beside the point.
Yeah, YouTube did. That's funny, though. It's kind of like me and freaking, on X. I don't know what it is on X. Like, my algorithm must be completely janky. Like, it can have 1 minute some dude, essentially getting killed by the police or vice versa. And then you have the next minute, I've got like, I don't know, these OnlyFans models that pop up, and I'm like, what the hell is that nonsense, And then I find some people that are like part of my group, and we have a good time. And then it's like a lot of people that I don't know or don't like their views and stuff like that. And
okay.
And then it becomes this really janky algorithm, and I'm like, I don't understand it. I don't want to look up anything like for example, what if I was like in No Shave November? Would I get a bunch of hairy dudes or hairy or hairy women? I mean, I'm cool with both, but I don't want to misjudge anybody. But
I think it's got a lot to do with the midget mud wrestling.
There is some little girls that show up in my stuff.
Benchmark Foolproof. That's one not to sleep on. It may be a bottom shelf bourbon, but it is delicious.
I think bottom shelf is based on the person. One of the things Jay, Pappy, who hadn't been on here in a while, one thing he taught me, not that when I had already been in the game for a little while, but when he and I started talking about it, there were several things he taught me, but one of probably the most important things was, bourbon is based not only on your economic ability to get said bourbon, but it's what you enjoy. I mean, if you enjoy something that, like, for example, you guys all know that I freaking loathe Jack Daniels, all of it with my entire soul. All right. Which that's my ideal of hell, that and really tall women. But anyway.
No, but what I'm saying about Benchmark Foolproof, that is a very good pour. It is a very cheap pour. I believe it runs right about $28 $8, but it is delicious. So when you see the full proof, that's the one to grab. The other ones are okay. The bottled and bond's okay, but the one that I've enjoyed because I've had the entire series is the full proof.
I love all things Jack.
I literally would rather fucking have battery acid poured directly on my stapled nuts onto a wild beaver running its ass off and trying to chew off my leg and my balls at the same time.
Tell us how you really feel about Jack Daniels.
I ain't lying to you. That's how I fucking feel.
Oh man, and I'm supposed
But
to
you
drink
know,
while we're doing it. It's like, yeah, I don't need bourbon shooting out my nose, man.
And my thing is, there's a lot of good bottles out there that are not very popular, but they're seemingly getting a little bit harder to come by. Like the old tub, what was it? The old Granddad, I think it was one of them. It's not a bourbon, but the Black Barrel from
Jameson.
From Jameson.
That's some good shit.
That's some good. Yes, and I don't think I've ever seen that bottle more than $25. I've never seen it for more than that expensive. And they actually have a Caribbean cask, screw off top, $7.50 bottle, and it's actually fantastic. It's really, really, really good, but you don't see it that often anymore. So I don't know if they're trying to steer us away from those bottles and try us to get the more expensive stuff. But there's one thing that we've all learned in this game is that you do not have to absolutely break the bank in order to have a decent bottle.
No, exactly. That's what I'm drinking tonight. I'm Michter's straight rye. I mean, it's $45 all day long.
Yeah.
And it's a damn good pour.
Absolutely. Oak and Agave had a comment there, Jody?
Yeah, so my recommendation is if you want to hear great things about, or puffery, we can just call it puffery, about Jack Daniels and how great they are, you can go straight over to Oak and Agave, smash the subscribe button, turn on those notifications, and I'll give you the same courtesy I give everybody else. If you really feel the pull, whip your balls out and drag them across the carpet until they bleed, that's on you. Either way, follow those guys for Jack Daniels.
Listen, Jody, I believe you can drag your nuts across the carpet just as much as you could believe I could swim.
Oh, shit.
Hey, it's all good.
But real quick though. Okay. So statistically though, I can get my balls on the carpet and drag them. All right.
Yeah, but, well,
even if I decide to go full frontal, so I've got this figured out.
Is that both at the same time?
It doesn't matter. Just to listen to me real quick.
That's right. You did fix that. Okay.
So that's that part. Now, when it comes to aquatic black folk, statistically, it's a much more accurate rendition to not believe, based upon data. It's not my calling. It's just based on data.
Mm-hmm. So
it's more likely I can put my balls somewhere on the carpet and drag them across before a reasonable person might statistically believe you might be able to swim.
Okay, so here's where that kind of thing comes from. Typically, Black women do not like to get their hair wet. So they have the belief that Black people can't swim. But I can tell you, Black people are more than capable of swimming quite well. If you spent any time in the islands, and when I say that, I mean not the tourist traps.
No, I agree with you. I know it is. I'm talking about here in the United States, though. If you were to look at the data points from here in the United States, I think that a reasonable person could draw that conclusion. It's not a biasy. It's not a prejudice. It's just factual based upon data.
I think it's both of those, but
how?
What?
A stereotype is based upon a gross generalization.
True.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If you run data points and you see statistically what the outcomes are, and you have a certain amount of of margin of error in there, but it's still predictable or maybe even reliable or even repeatable, then you've got a much more reliable source to say, hey, look, it's very likely I'm going to put my balls on the carpet and rub them across, but it's very unlikely that most African-American people that live in the United States don't swim as well as others. How about that?
But it's not about swimming well. It's about just being able to swim.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I understand that, though.
No, you need to see the next comment that he made. It's like, I'm trying to figure out what the fuck he's
Oh, he's making fun of me saying statistically.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
It's like, damn, dude, man, you've been hitting it hard tonight.
I have.
That's true, right there.
It is, but it's made it fun. I'm really having a blast.
But it goes back to the Jack Daniels thing, and it's like, I don't care. You drink Jack Daniels all you want.
Oh, of course, drink if you want.
If you enjoy it, it's your jam. Go get it. It's all beautiful. I probably won't.
Well, I can tell you.
I know you won't. Definitely.
I mean,
won't.
I have some in the house that I don't touch because everybody was like, you got to buy some Sinatra. Try that. I'm like, all right, let's do it.
My little Sinatra, it sits there on the shelf gathering dust.
No, the only person that drinks it is David when he comes over. He's like, so you want to have some Sinatra? I'm like, no, you can have it.
That's a little ironic because somebody who hates Jack so much to even have it in their possession. So for me, as a producer of fine handcrafted barbecue sauce, I have no other barbecue sauce in my house. And if I come to your house and I see somebody else's barbecue sauce sitting around, I will take it, throw it in the garbage, and give you a real bottle of Cafe 305 barbecue sauce.
What do you mean?
That's true. That's true. I've seen that happen in real time.
Come on, Billy. Tell me about that. What do you mean you ain't got no Sweet Baby Ray's?
No. Absolutely
what about not. Stubbs? Come on, man. That's a great name.
You gotta have some Stubbs.
No, come on, Stubbs. Comes out thick. I mean, and you know the person on Mr. Stubbs. He's like, let me ask you a question.
It's funny because he went out his way to make it up.
Oh shit!
Jesus Christ!
This is like this show. So you want to kind of little, I don't know, whatever. I forgot whatever cliche I was going to say. But if you want to know what this show is really about, it's just dumb fuckery for like an hour.
Oh, absolutely.
Boom.
We just have a good time. We talk about random nonsense. Hey. This is supposed to be like we're at a bar. And we're just
this show carries absolutely no weight whatsoever.
Yeah. I mean, for like our feelings or anything. Yeah. Or like our notes.
Friends getting together and Dave getting together once a week to drink.
Oh, man.
Shit.
But the crazy part, though, I think if we got onto a station and we got some real push behind us, people would watch it just to see what the fuck would happen next. Like, you would call your friends over and be like, listen, you got to see this shit.
You're not going to believe what these guys did on
Oh, man.
Oh, shoot. But hey, we had fun doing it, man. It's all beautiful.
Well, it started actually. So when they closed this thing down where we couldn't hang out and stuff during the pandemic and stuff, right?
The Nazis shut everything down.
Yeah. When the fascists just said, "Boy, take it." By the way, if you want to cut that out, that'll make me famous. But anyway, so you get people. You sit here and you're like, how are we going to do this? So the very first people that reached out to me, they're like, it was a bunch of my military buddies, and they had this one dipshit that he was my chief petty officer when I was like my LCPO, when I was, at this specific area in my life. And he made it to every one of the damn meetings where we were like just sitting there chatting. And I was like, fuck that guy. I'm not going to be a part of this military group anymore. And so me and Dave and Mal started talking across country, doing everything from Skype to freaking FaceTime to Zoom, and then getting Zoom bombed. And then we did Then I think we moved to StreamYard, and that's who we've been with ever since.
Yeah.
Speaking of Mal, I miss Mal.
I do too, but he says he's going to be back like next week, I think.
Yeah. Hope he gets some time this summer. Get back here with us. I miss him. And Jen.
It's a true statement, though.
It is. It is. It is a very, very true statement.
This is true.
Well, I mean, it's like the what's his name? The guy that made Blazing Saddles, Mel Brooks. This is like the Mel Brooks hour.
Yeah.
Or we just like it's a bunch of Gen Xers and one boomer, and and so, but we're all sitting here and we're just having conversation and we're just making fun of each other. And and yes, some of it mostly from me is inappropriate as fuck, but it is what it is. And that's how I roll, And these are my thoughts, not anybody else's.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah. I mean, the beautiful thing about it is, all right, Oki and Agave, have a good one. There's no malice in anybody's heart.
Of course. Yeah.
It's just good old fashioned, ripping on each other. So that makes it even better. And I know if any one of us ever needed anything and we need to knock on somebody's door, we'd be welcome with open arms. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
I would recommend you call before you come here, but yes.
Oh no, me as a black man, I'm not walking nowhere in Jody's neighborhood.
I don't live in the neighborhood.
Listen, when I was at Jody's house, I wouldn't allow myself to be seen without him.
Anyway, I mean, it's just it's out there, But
I know that feeling.
Yep. I want to be further out. I really do. I want to.
Where I'm at.
I want to be. I have looked at property via the interwebs in West Virginia. I really have. I mean, I like everything about West Virginia. I mean, in my opinion, I don't like people. They don't seem to like people. That works out. That check. They don't want anybody close to them. Check. I don't either. Seems to be a gun-loving state. Check. I don't think they have an income tax, but I could be wrong.
Yes, so we do.
Okay, that's a negative sign.
That's a negative.
But not your military retirement. That's tax-free.
Well, of course, that's even at the federal level.
Yeah, but
I mean, well, they get that's not true. The feds do get part of the retirement portion, but they don't, which is so crazy. You get taxed to put your money in someplace. It gets taxed when it makes money, and then it gets taxed when you take that money out. It's so weird. But anyway, just remember this as we close out tonight. This is true. If you ever wonder who the 1% in the world is, it's almost, I can guarantee it's anybody that's watching the show right now, because the vast majority of the world makes less than $30,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And our country represents about 1% of the people who make over $30,000 a year here in the United States represent the true 1%. I don't want you to know that, but I'm telling you. So what happens when you have a gummy and you have a good time and
there you go.
Hey, gummies are cool, dude.
I know.
Sure.
I know. Give you a little bit of constipation sometimes, but they're good. But anyway, guys, subscribe, and turn on the notifications and jingle bells. And again, if you think you can't put your balls on the carpet, but you can, rub them out and just make it happen. Peace out. Everybody have a wonderful night.